All right, I got 9 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order. We'll welcome everybody to the September 30th, 2025 A&P meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from August 26th?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Got a motion approved by Tanya, second by Reese. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up, financials by Tim.
Good morning. All right, so we ended August with $2.998 million, just shy of $3 million in the bank. Of that, we've got $1,050,000 in our CD that was moved over to First Community. The rest is in operating. We also, on the checks I just signed, was moving $230,000 out of the revenue account to our operating account, so where all the collections are, and then just moving some over to fund the grants as needed. We've got a restricted balance of 1.263 600. Of that, of course, $1 million is debt service, and we're cutting a check for $243 that y'all signed today to cover our portion of the basketball courts that are now E&C. So after that's all said and done, we'll have $1 million in debt service. I think we have one outstanding there. So pretty thin on that.
So what's our unrestricted funds?
Our unrestricted funds right now are 1.7.
Okay.
And then after we cut those checks, I think that'll go down to just right at $1 million, a little bit over like $1,016,000, I think, with the baseball grants, the only other one we have open.
Huh.
So, in pretty good shape there. For the month of August, we brought in $135,785, compared with $139,108 prior year, or prior August. Year to date, we brought in $1,079,000 compared to $1,071,000, so about $8,000 increase year to date. Pretty strong there. Collections are going good. Just had the summons signed by Commissioner Howell. So we get those out this week to do 3 audits. Just to, double check some stuff. Assuming they go good, then we'll just probably do about 3 a quarter at the most. Keep it pretty light. Depending on what we find, we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Any questions for me? Thank you all.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, next up, Michelle. Ozark Gateway Placer AI.
Yes, so, we mentioned to you guys last time about this partnership with Ozark Gateway. And I think we're gonna find that this is gonna be a really beneficial partnership on a lot of different fronts. Last time we talked about, how they can give us basically like a grant for part of our advertising dollars, depending on what we're doing. And so all we have to do is submit that to them, and they will approve it or not approve it. So these are all funds that can just kind of help our dollars go a little bit farther. One of the opportunities that they offer is they have a contract with Placer AI, which everybody's a little bit familiar, I think, with Placer. It allows us to get data for events, or there's lots of different things that I think we can use it for. And so basically how that will work is we can request reports from them. And so I already went ahead and sent kind of like our initial, like these are the things we want on the front end to make sure that it wasn't like too overwhelming. And that included all of our major events. It included some major locations, so like Berryhill Park, requested that for all of November and December, and downtown, so we get holiday lights, requested data for Pioneer Village. Anyways, pretty comprehensive list. Tournaments, I included the dates for that. And she has already started working on it and is good with, she said, yes, this will all be fine. So I think it's going to be very beneficial. The cost is $1,000 to partner with them and pull this data for us. We don't have access to the platform ourselves, but we can request reports. And so I think it's a good opportunity for us to tiptoe into this. We've looked at getting Placer, and it's very expensive. Even if we were just to have Placer from now until the end of the year, we would spend more than $1,000 that they are charging for us to get some of that data. So that's what we're requesting today, is just the $1,000 cost. I did have, Tommy, did that report get printed?
It did not. I'm in the process of emailing it to
Okay,
everybody.
so just to kind of give everybody an example, I pulled one, or Kathy sent me one report that I think you guys will find really interesting. And basically what it was is just traffic to Berryhill Park over the past 5 years. So if you look at 2022, there was 228,000 visitors to Berryhill Park. 2023, it went up to 267, And then in 2024, it went to 348,000 visits. And so immediately I was like, okay, what year did we get the pickleball courts? Pickleball courts were done in June of 2023. So you see almost 100,000 jump in visitors to Berryfield Park after the pickleball courts were open. And that was with them opening in June. We still had 100,000 more than next year. So it was open for 6 months of 2023. That just shows you that's a pretty significant jump. And so this is the kind of data that I think we can use to help really drive some of our financial decisions and our marketing decisions. Did you get it?
Here, you can look at this. Oh, you got it. Did y'all get that chart?
Yeah.
You can look at my palm. if you want.
Yeah, sorry, I could have pulled it up.
It probably hasn't, I sent it to Experience Source, it probably hasn't transferred yet. I'll
Yeah,
text it to you.
and yeah,
It's bar graph, yeah. Sure.
it's just a bar graph that can show the increase. And there's a lot of data like this that we can get, but just wanted to give you guys an example of, okay, what are we gonna do with this data? And I think, one, it will help us, kind of justify some of our past expenses, but also will help us make some decisions going forward.
How comprehensive? I mean, I've seen the, and gone through some demonstrations on Placer AI, and it gets pretty granular. Are we allowed to get that granular data on these events? I mean, 'cause I think they can tell us where everybody came from.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
we have
so-
full access?
So we do not have, I cannot log into the system.
Yeah.
But I did a screen share with her yesterday, and I was like, okay, we want that report, we want this report, and she just downloaded them and said she could send them to us. So that's basically what it allows us to do. I can't get in there and actually click the buttons ourselves, but anything that we want. She also has a rep with Placer, so if there's something that she doesn't know how to pull, she can work with that person and figure out how to pull it.
Now, these are tracked by cell phones?
Yes, that's, my understanding is it's all, I was trying to explain this to my husband, I'm not very research, just statistical driven, but it's cell phone data, and then somehow they do a statistically relevant whatever to come up with the actual numbers. So, it's not every single cell phone.
But it's a lot closer than guesstimation that we've been getting.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And, I mean, any kind of data like this is not gonna be 100%, but it will allow us to compare. So if it's 5% off for an event, it's probably 5% off for all events. So it still will allow us to compare some data, just like this Berryfield data. Was there exactly 348,000 visits to Berryfield Park? Maybe not, probably pretty close, but we can see the difference in the year before and say, okay, that made an impact.
Right.
Yeah, I did a pretty full demo on this before, and I think they said their margin of error was like between 5 and 8%. So, I mean, you're getting over 90% accuracy.
Definitely.
So I think that, our initial request is for major events and major locations, so that we can have some data to know, like, what's making an impact. It'll even tell us where they went when they left. So it'll tell us, like, how many people went to stay in a hotel, or how many people went to a restaurant, or whatever. And so I think that will be really helpful in justifying some of our dollars.
I know when I looked at it, I mean, they would tell you where every visitor came from. So not only where they went in town, but where they came from out of town, which is really, I mean, as far as our advertising dollars and where to put these, that's pretty important.
Yeah, and we did look at one report, and I don't have all of it yet, because we want to have this meeting first, but, and it showed us, like, for the 4th of July, like, how many of them came from 72143, and how many came, and it gives you kind of like this heat map to show, like, across the state, where do people come from. So I think that will be really beneficial, especially since we have this opportunity to kind of do like this light package, to kind of get some of this data, and then if we find out that there's, more that we want, then we can talk about that for kind of the next step. The other thing with Ozark Gateway that I think will be really beneficial, Kathy, who is the director, or whatever her name and title is, she was the chair of the A&P Commission for Batesville for like 8 years. And so she has a ton of experience. She's also worked in tourism basically her whole career. So I think she'll be a really good resource for us to talk about what are other communities doing. Her job is to work with all the communities that very much be able to tell us, these are what other people are doing, this is what's worked, this is what's not worked. For example, she, even maybe with how you guys structure funding, she was saying that with Batesville, for their events, they, actually had the hotel owners, Batesville's A&P is only on hotel, it's not restaurants, it's just hotel. And so they have the hotels ask, did you come for this festival? And they keep track of it, and their funding directly correlates to how many people they have in the hotels. Like, it is like you get however many dollars for every person that stays in a hotel, and that's how their event funding is determined. So, I'm not saying we do that, I'm just saying.
Is that on the, I mean, I'm just asking, is that on the honor system? I mean, basically, they're
The
asking, the
hotels.
hotel reports those numbers?
Yes, yeah. I don't think there's any other way you really could do it. But I'm not saying we do that. I'm just saying, I think she will be a resource for us that we can ask questions to and as we decide on funding or whatever. Not that that's my world, but I think she would be available to you guys if you had questions.
I think in the way that we're set up with presenting 1 month, decisioning the next month, it gives us time in between to get some of this, whoever presents, we can get some of that data, see the historical, see the impact, and the number of people, where they're coming from, and then it'll help us,
Well, I think having the placer, the availability of placer and access to that, moving forward, we're gonna have a lot more data to help us make our decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, what I would love is that we have somewhat of an annual plan. I don't know how that works exactly because of people needing to request. But we could look at all of our major events and we know how much they're requesting and we could cross that with how many people are coming to town, what's the impact. And then it's not just like, well, we think this year we're gonna get this number. It's, well, statistically, we can justify the cost because of X, Y, and Z. So, I know it's not all cut and dry like that, and there's quality of life, and there's other benefits to the events. I just think this data will equip you guys with some more information for making those decisions. So questions about the $1,000 cost for placer?
We got a motion?
Second.
We got a motion by Marco, a second by Tommy, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, one more thing for me, not about placer, but Ozark Gateway. So, when I had my call with Kathy, she wanted me to ask you guys if you would be interested in being in the Ozark Gateway publication. So basically, a lot of the communities, this was the example she gave that something we could do. A lot of the communities will have like an ad or double page spread or whatever in this publication. It promotes our region. They print 100,000 copies and they distribute them from Memphis to Branson, all across, everywhere in between. So she said, with us being a part of them now, she would love to help start promoting us. Would we be interested in that? They will give us a full page of editorial if we pay for a full page. The cost is $2,975 for the full page. I also found out yesterday from CJRW that Arkansas Tourism does not plan to reprint the travel guide next year. So the half-page ad that you guys approved last month for $3,350, we will not be able to do that. They're not going to reprint. So if you would like to do this, we could move those dollars to this publication, and their distribution is really, really good. So.
Well, I think since we've already have the money spoken for, I don't see no reason why we don't move it. I vote that we move it.
Got a motion by Tommy,
Second.
got a second by Reese, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, that's all I have, unless you guys have anything. We'll start working on 2026 plan here soon, so if anybody has thoughts or feedback or recommendations as we start planning for the next year, just let me know.
I think it'd be nice if we just went ahead and had some of that data for the bigger